Hey everyone, this is impaKt, and in this video I'll be talking about how to make Support Lissandra an actual viable pick. There has been a lot of talk about her supporting potential ever since she was released, but she has been most favored as a top or a mid laner. I do think she brings a lot of utility to the table even as a support, so I started looking for a way to actually make her a viable pick, hence why I'm choosing Lissandra for my first champion guide. So without further ado, let's get started. Rune-wise, I've been using two different pages. If you're playing against a really passive lane, you can go for something a little more offensive. In this case, I recommend using 9 magic penetration marks for the extra damage in lane, 9 armor seals, 9 flat magic resist glyphs for resistances, and 3 gold protect quintessences. This will give you the ability to take some damage, not a lot, while also having the extra damage to push and poke. The gold quintessences are there to help you with your gold income flow. If you're playing against a lane that's not as passive, like a poke or a kill lane, I recommend going a little tankier, and in this case, the rune page that I use consists of 6 magic penetration marks, 3 armor marks, 5 armor seals, 4 flat HP seals, 9 flat magic resistance glyphs, 2 flat HP quintessences, and 1 gold pretend quintessence. I know it's a little more mixed up or complex than people are used to seeing in a support page, but I found this to be the perfect balance of tankiness and poke potential I could get out of a rune page. For Masteries, I always go for 1-9-20. You're getting the Mastery in the offense tree for the Ignite or Exhaust, though I usually take Exhaust, some resistances and HP from the defense tree, while finishing up the utility tree with 4 points in the Awareness Mastery, which will increase your experience earned by 5%. This might not sound like a lot, but if you manage to get level 6 before your opponents, especially as Lissandra, you'll probably be able to either pick up a kill or at least make your enemies go back before you do, thus getting the upper hand in farm, experience, and items. Before we get into the game itself, let's talk a little more about her skills and skill order. Her passive is Iceborne, and it is essential to your laning phase. Every 18 seconds she'll get a free cast, and every time you land a movement impairing skill on an enemy, the passive's cooldown will be reduced by 1 second. Iceborne is not affected by cooldown reduction, however. Lissandra is a heavily mana dependent champion, but as a support, Iceborne will be able to keep your mana up if you manage your cooldowns wisely. Her first skill is called Ice Shard. It slows the first enemy hit for a minimum of 16% at rank 1, while also damaging all enemies hit behind the first target. You will want to max this first, as it will be your main poke source. Her second skill is Ring of Frost. It damages and snares enemies around you, and it will be your main disengage tool, as well as an essential crowd control when engaging. You'll want to max this second. The third skill is Glacial Path. It casts a claw that will move in a straight line while damaging all enemies hit. Reactivating this ability will immediately transport you to the claw's location. You may want to max this either second or third. Her ultimate is Frozen Tomb. If you cast this on an enemy champion, it will stun it for 1.5 seconds, while also dealing damage to it and slowing and damaging nearby enemies. If you cast this on yourself, however, you will become untargetable and invulnerable for 2.5 seconds, while also slowing and damaging nearby enemies. You should level this up at level 6, 11, and 16. As soon as you enter the game, you'll have to pick your starting items. I recommend the 5-pot start in solo queue, at least until you get the hang of the champion. So start off with 3 HP pots, 2 mana pots, 1 vision ward for push control, and 3 side wards. I usually start with Glacial Path for awesome and safe ward placement. You can cast Glacial Path, then move towards the enemy jungle, place the ward, and reactivate the skill to teleport back to the claw. Be careful not to use this against teams with hard CC at level 1, or you can find yourself in deep trouble. In my own experience, Support Lizzie is best when played in 3 different ways during laning phase. Until you reach level 4, you'll want to use Iceborne to help you push the lane. You'll want to do this because you won't have much damage until then, and you want to have your main skills before you start poking and engaging onto the enemy. You'll also want to poke the enemy with your Ice Shard under his turret whenever you can. Now here's the tip that will probably make your poking a lot better. Ice Shard doesn't have a lot of range, but its range actually extends when it connects with an enemy. So if you're trying to poke someone, try using Ice Shard like Lucian's Q. Make it connect to the enemy minion right in front of him. That way the range will increase about 150 units and you'll be poking much more effectively. Now comes the second part of laning phase, which will be during levels 4 to 5. In this period, you'll want to make the lane reset by pushing to the enemy turret and then letting both waves meet at the center of the lane. Then control the second bush with the pink where you bought the level 1. And now you'll want to control the lane. Every time your enemy tries to take CS, make him pay for it. If you have a good early game AD carry with you, like Twitch, Varus, Caitlyn, Ezreal, Corki or Draven for instance, you can even engage with Glacial Path, trap the enemy with Ring of Frost, follow it up with Ice Shard. If your AD carry follows you up, you can try auto-attacking some more so you can get a kill or burn the summoner spell. Don't stay too long though, or risk losing the trade whenever the snare ends. The third part of laning phase will be after level 6. When she reaches level 6 and gets Frozen Tomb, your kill potential will increase and not just by a little bit. If the enemy has no escapes or flash, and if your AD carry follows you up, you should get a kill every time your ultimate's up. So control the bushes and go for all-in engagements. Diving against Lissandra is also extremely difficult after she reaches level 6 because of all the CC at her disposal, as well as an escape. Since she's really poke based prior to level 6, her counters are usually sustain lanes with the likes of Sona, Nami or Alistar, but when allied to a really aggressive AD carry, you can do fine even against these lanes. She's also quite good against Thresh since you can harass from afar and even behind minion lines. You do really well against Leon or Taric as well, since whenever they engage, you can either escape or counter engage easily. After the laning phase is done, you should be buying your oracles and wards. What you want to do now is look at your team, at the enemy team, and analyze what role you should be playing in teamfights. Lissandra is an incredible engager with Glacial Path, Ring of Frost and Frozen Tomb, as she can pick off champions really easily as well. With some cooldown reduction, her peel potential is also huge, so you can play the protector role as well. Items that you should consider buying are Shirelli's Reverie, Iron and Boots of Lucidity, Locket of the Iron Solari, Will of the Ancients or even Zhonya's Hourglass if the game is going really well. You want as much cooldown reduction as possible. Her only flaw in teamfight is that her disengage tools aren't as strong as Zyra's for instance. You can stay behind and try using Frozen Tomb on someone as well as Ring of Frost, but it'll decrease your chances of escaping alive since you'll have to be really close to the enemy team to use the tools at your disposal. Her kit also leads me to believe that she is a viable pick even in swap situations. If the team decides to swap the duo to the top lane, she has the potential to protect the AD carry while escaping easily with her Glacial Path. Early diving is also an option because of her amount of CC. If you're going middle lane, Lissandra can easily help push the lane to get the tower as soon as possible, as well as help the jungler counter jungle fairly easily. She can also poke really well in the middle lane, since she doesn't actually need the bushes as much as other poke-based supports might. To end the guide, I'll be showing you some pretty sweet Glacial Path jump locations that will be really useful when you decide to start playing her. Enjoy! This is all for now guys, I hope you enjoyed my first champion guide, and I hope you start giving Support Lizzie the love she deserves. I'm sorry that it took this long to finish up the video, but I was waiting for my new mic to arrive so I could deliver the best sound quality possible. If you can, make sure to visit Base Desire's YouTube channel as he's the one who created the track I'm using in this video. It's called Evaporate and it's awesome. As always, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, Facebook and Twitter. Feel free to PM me at any time. I always try to get back to you guys as soon as possible. You can always also join the in-game chat room impaKtLOL, as I'll be there every time I'm online. So enjoy, good luck, have fun, and until next time.